we're going to be covering is live inputs. We'll talk about how to bring them into your project and a couple of different ways to assign live inputs to different live input resources. We'll then look at bringing them onto the timeline and how we can use that in a project. Let's go. Okay, so jumping into my project here, I've got a screen set up that's assigned to an output, which I've got showing down here. And we can turn that test pattern on just to double check. So the first step here is to go to our resource browser and go to our live input resources. Now, a new project will always include at least one live input resource, but we can always add more with this Add Live Input Resource button. If I click on this resource, I can go to the inspector. I'm going to call this one webcam. And from here, I'm going to go to this select inputs. When I select this, it's going to show me my server. And if I had more servers, it would show them here as well. And I can twirl down this icon here. And now I can go to any other input devices that I have. And in this case, I'm going to go to the direct show driver. And I'm just going to grab this webcam here. Now, one important thing to note about live inputs with PIXERA is that PIXERA is not going to do any live input distribution across its own network. This means that if you have some sort of live input that you want to show up on multiple servers, you need to run the signal to each of those servers individually. You would then select each of those live inputs on each server so that one resource and clip on the timeline could affect each of those servers. So let's close this. And now I'm going to bring this resource on just like any other resource. And we can see that I've popped up down here on my output. Now, we're not seeing anything in the preview. So if we want to do that, if we want to see our live input in the preview, we click on our resource here, or we can find it in the resource browser, and I can go to this Show in Preview checkbox. So once we click on that Show in Preview checkmarks, we can start to see our live input preview in the preview window. Now, this is going to be slightly different than what's happening on your output because this live input preview is basically generating an NDI preview of your live input and showing it in your preview window. So I can go grab in my second live input. I'm going to rename this NDI input. And in my select input, I have an NDI test pattern running in the background here. So I'm going to click on that. And I can just retarget this clip with a different resource. And we can see that that's changed down in my live input, or excuse me, in my output window. And I can say show and preview, and we can see that that preview input shows up here as well. All right, so let's put it all together and use some effects and live inputs to key out my background here in PIXERA. And the way I'm going to do that is I can just go find a chroma key effect, drag that onto my webcam layer. Let's go to my chroma key. We'll turn this mix percentage all the way up. And now I've got some weird, creepy eye stuff happening, but I can start to dial this in. And, you know, I could spend a lot more time here to actually really find a good key here. But, you know, for now, really doesn't like my headphones. That's okay. We could really dial this in and find the right settings to see if we could get the best key possible. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Great. So yeah, we can use effects and live inputs to key something out behind me. And you'll notice my output looks quite a bit sharper than my live input. And that's because obviously my live input is generating that low performant NDI stream.